I arrived to pick up my wife from the party later than I'd intended. An hour before, she had messaged me saying things were winding down, the same phrase she always used when she didn't want me hurrying her. The house felt unnaturally still when I left. No television, no lights, only the low hum of the refrigerator and the sound of my own footsteps. I told myself I was overthinking it. Couples could have their own lives, their own evenings apart. Even so, a weight settled in my chest for the entire drive. The party was at a coworker's home downtown, one of those renovated places with string lights stretched across the yard and music spilling out into the street. The cars lined both sides of the road. People were laughing loudly, like the night had already slipped past the point where judgment starts to fade. I parked half a block away and walked up, adjusting my jacket as if that mattered. I saw her almost right away through the open gate. She stood near the fire pit, drink in hand, laughing. Not the polite laugh she used around my parents. Not the exhausted one she gave me after work. This was different, open and careless, the kind that moved through her whole body. A man stood close to her. Too close. His hand rested on the back of her chair, fingers tapping casually, comfortably. Without meaning to, I slowed before calling her name. A stranger stepped in front of me. Around my age, maybe slightly younger, wearing a hoodie and holding a beer he hadn't really been drinking. He looked uneasy, like he'd wrestled with the decision to speak. "Hey," he said quietly. "Sorry, bro." I frowned. "Do I know you?" He shook his head. "No, His eyes shifted toward the fire pit, then back to me. "I figured you should know." My stomach tightened. "Know what?" He let out a breath through his nose, as if bracing himself. "The woman you're looking for?" I heard her say she didn't need a ride home. Said she was staying with someone else. For a second, everything dulled. The music, the laughter, even the crackling fire felt distant, like I'd been pulled underwater. "That's my wife," I said, the words unfamiliar in my mouth.
He winced. "Yeah."
That's why I said something. Didn't feel right. I wanted to ask him a dozen things, but my feet were already moving. I thanked him automatically and headed straight toward her. Each step grew heavier, my mind scrambling to invent explanations that might still save us. She noticed me when I was only a few feet away. Her smile didn't disappear. It froze, stiff and startled, as if she hadn't expected me to exist in that moment. "You're early," she said quickly. "You said things were winding down," I answered. The man beside her straightened, suddenly very focused on the fire. He didn't look surprised to see me. That hurt more than I expected. "We were just talking," she added, her tone already defensive. I nodded slowly. "Funny. A guy outside said you told someone you didn't need a ride home." Her eyes flicked toward the gate, just for a split second, but it was enough. "That's not..." She stopped, pressed her lips together, then tried again. "I meant I wasn't leaving yet." I looked at the man next to her. "Can you give us a minute?" He hesitated, then shrugged and walked away without meeting my eyes. Silence settled between us, thick and uncomfortable. I could hear my heartbeat pounding in my ears. "Who is he?" I asked. "A coworker," she replied. "A friend." "Does he know you're married?" "Yes." "Then why was he touching you like that?" Her shoulders tensed. "You're exaggerating." I let out a short, humorless laugh. "Am I?" Because from where I was standing, it looked a lot like something we promised each other we'd never do. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Her expression softened, and for a moment I saw the woman I'd fallen in love with, the one who cried at sad movies and danced in the kitchen when she thought no one was watching. "I didn't plan this," she said quietly. "It just happened." Those words hit harder than any admission. Not denial, not apology, just inevitability. I nodded. "Get your things." "What?" "I'm taking you home," I said. "If you want to stay, say it now." She glanced around at the lights, the people, the man watching us from across the yard. Then she looked back at me. "I'll come," she said. The drive home was silent. Streetlights passed in steady intervals, each one feeling like a countdown. I kept my eyes fixed on the road, afraid that if I looked at her too long, I'd either fall apart or lose control. When we got home, she slipped off her shoes and stood in the living room like a guest who had overstayed her welcome. "I'm sorry," she said at last. "I never meant to hurt you." I turned toward her. "But you knew you might." She nodded, tears gathering in her eyes. "Yes." That was when something inside me shifted. It didn't break. It simply settled into place. I realized trust doesn't always shatter with noise. Sometimes it fades quietly, unnoticed, until a stranger is the one who points it out. "I need some space," I said. "Tonight."
She didn't argue.
She picked up a pillow and blanket and walked to the spare room, pausing in the doorway like she wanted to say more. Then she stepped inside, leaving the door halfway open. I stayed alone on the couch, the house as silent as it had been earlier. But now I understood that silence. It wasn't calm. It was the sound of something ending, not with shouting, not with chaos, just with a simple apology from a stranger who owed me nothing at all.